up, everyone? DSP here, and welcome to a very important channel update for January 26th, 2013. It's funny because I have a desk calendar now. My girlfriend Panda Lee bought it for me for Christmas, and now I can actually know what the date is when I film videos because I have a desk calendar on my desk. Okay, but anyway, this channel update is pretty much, the content of this update is to explain what I'm doing with gameplay on DSP Gaming, okay? And to propose the games that you, the viewers and fans, can vote on to be the next candidate for Retro Replay. So to recap, what is Retro Replay? And let's talk a little bit about it. Retro Replay is a new series that I've started this year because I've decided this year to, number one, reduce the amount of content that I upload, gameplay content, that I upload to my gaming channel, DSP Gaming, on a daily basis. But number two, to break things up, to instead of only be playing one game at a time, where, let's be honest, if I'm playing one game at a time and I'm uploading 10 to 20 parts of this game every single day, even more than that because I used to upload 30 plus videos in a day, you get burnt out and you get left behind. I fully understand that when I'm doing gameplay, not everyone else has the ability to sit at home and watch 6 hours, 8 hours of gameplay a day. It's absolutely ridiculous. And this used to be my old uploading style, so I changed it up this year and decided if I'm always playing two games, that means that number one, if you don't like one game, chances are you probably will like the other, so there'll always be something to watch. And number two, since I'm playing two games and splitting my footage, there's going to be less videos a day of each game, and that way you can pretty much stay caught up on the playthroughs as they upload and progress. And since I've instituted these changes for the past 2 weeks, I've got absolutely nothing but positive feedback. Everyone's saying this is a great change. This is, you know, very good to exactly what we're expecting. And if you could know it, from what I can tell, and of course this is just a guesstimate because YouTube has been so screwed up for the past several weeks regarding seeing if anyone's watching stuff in views and being overinflated, underinflated. But in general, it looks like on a daily basis I'm actually doing really decently views-wise, which is good. I was actually expecting that maybe I was going to start lagging a little bit in views until it's a slow build, until people get used to this style of uploading. But right now it's looking pretty good. So I'm positive about the changes. I am very excited to continue with what I've been doing. So just to let you know, right now on DSP Gaming, I am running two series. One is Ni no Kuni, which is the Japanese role-playing game by Studio Ghibli, however the hell you say it. Ghibli, I know, there's like 400 pronunciations, whatever. And number two, Grand Theft Auto 4. And on a daily basis, I'm uploading more footage of each one, and people are loving it. They're getting their fill of what they want every day. Now, both of these games are on the longer side, okay? And a lot of people have been saying to me, Phil, aren't you afraid that you're not going to be able to finish these games by the time the next new release comes out? Well, the good news is, the only release there is coming up this week is a DLC for Black Ops 2, which I am actually going to be playing. If you want information on that, check out the Weekend Preview tomorrow when I tell you specifically what I'm going to be doing this week. But outside of that, no major retail release at all. So I can, outside of the Black Ops footage, which might divert me a little bit 1 or 2 days this week, I can still focus all on Grand Theft Auto 4 and on Ni no Kuni. So I'm making good progress in both of these games. But the question remains, once I beat Grand Theft Auto 4, or if I beat Ni no Kuni before Grand Theft Auto 4, which I don't foresee, but hey, anything can happen, what am I going to be playing next? Now, for new releases, the next new release is in 2 weeks, well actually it's a little less than 2 weeks time right now. We've got Dead Space 3 and we've got Sly Cooper 4. And what I'm already planning to do is John Rambo has said he wants to do co-op of Dead Space 3. So when it comes out, that day we'll probably be here. We'll be doing co-op. We'll probably try to play as much of the game as we can, if not try to beat the game in one day. But that doesn't mean that we'll be uploading the whole playthrough that day. What I'm going to do is like I've been doing with everything else. I'm going to spread out footage. So you'll see Dead Space 3 co-op a lot that day, but then through the rest of the week, maybe you'll see the rest of the campaign paired with something else. So there's going to be times, this is why I'm explaining this to you, this is going to be times where I will always have a retro replay going, but there are also going to be times when there will not be a retro replay going, or retro replay will be on suspend until new releases die out. So for a perfect example, as the week I just mentioned, with Dead Space 3 and Sly Cooper 4 both coming out at the same time, people are going to want to see the new games. So I'm going to be playing those two games during the course of that week. Now once I beat one of those games, then Retro Replay will take its place until another new game is released, and that playthrough will start, and then when another new game is finished, then Retro Replay will take its place. So basically that's the idea. Always have two games running here, or not here on DSP Gaming, but over on my gaming channel, DSP Gaming. And when the times of the year when there's not enough, when there's not always two new games to support the gameplay, to have Retro Replay. So after Grand Theft Auto 4, what will I be doing for Retro Replay? Well, the thing is, I thought about it, and I know that there are certain games that fans are like fan favorites. They're saying, Phil, we'd really like you to replay them. But there's things that I've eliminated from the running, and let me explain what I mean. There are certain games that I just don't I don't feel it's the right time to start playing them, or I feel that maybe they'd be far too long to start as a Retro Replay right now, just because I know for a fact that the next several months are going to have a lot, and I mean a lot, of new retail releases coming out that I'm playing. Big blockbuster titles that people have been waiting for. So I don't want to start a project that I know is going to be 100 parts or more, and it takes me 5 months to beat it because I have so many new releases coming out that are going to take priority. So what that means is I've eliminated certain games from the running, and I'll explain why in this video, and then I'm going to propose to you the games that are in the running for the next Retro Replay that you can vote on right now on my website, thekingofhate.com. In the description of this video, there's a link. Click there. It'll take you straight to the thread. There's going to be a poll, and you can vote multiple times. So if there's more than one game on there that you would like to see next, you can vote multiple times, okay? Okay, so here are the games that I have eliminated from the running for Retro Replay for various reasons that I will discuss right now. First of all, right now I am playing Ni no Kuni, which is a lengthy Japanese role-playing game, to which I say to myself, you know, probably what that means is I really shouldn't start another Japanese role-playing game as soon as I beat Grand Theft Auto, because now you've got back-to-back RPG, and people can get overloaded. So just for the purposes of that, I'm eliminating Blue Dragon and Lost Odyssey from the running as the next Retro Replay game. Now, they might come into the running during the next poll, but for now, these are out, okay? Another game that I am definitely not putting up for voting is Heavy Rain. I know a lot of people want to see me replay Heavy Rain, and eventually I may. In fact, it's a game that I actually would like to play again with different choices and see what happens, but I don't want to do it yet. I feel that that's going to be like the culmination. A lot of people say my Heavy Rain playthrough is my best playthrough of all time. A lot of people are even very wary for me to even do another Heavy Rain playthrough because they say they don't think that it could possibly even reach half as good as the original Heavy Rain playthrough was. Now, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that. But the bottom line is there's a bunch of games that I never did full playthroughs of on YouTube, okay? Heavy Rain is a game I did do an entirely full playthrough on YouTube. So I'd like to start attacking some of these other games that I never did a full playthrough on YouTube first, and then we'll get to Heavy Rain, okay? Similarly, but for also different reasons, I am eliminating, and I know we're going to hear groan right now, Fallout 3 from the running for the next Retro Replay. Two reasons. Number one, I did almost do a complete playthrough. Keep in mind, I skipped a lot of side content when I actually played this game for the first time, and then I returned to it later on to do a lot of that side content. But what I'd like to do is save this for a time when there's not as many new releases, when there's a drought, when, you know, there's maybe during the summer, historically during the summer is a slow time. That would be the time to start up a game like Fallout 3 because there's a lot more time to invest in it. Right now, I would start this and it probably wouldn't finish it for months on end, and I just don't want to do that. So Fallout 3, for now, is out of the running for the next Retro Replay. And the last game, which I know all people are requesting for completely the wrong reasons, Dark Souls is not going to be in the running for the next Retro Replay. Let me put it to you this way. Dark Souls, I know, is a game that everyone wants to see me return to, but at the same time, I know it's a game that if I return to it, I'm not going to like it. I got to a point in the game where it's now so tedious that I would have to backtrack and do shit that I don't want to do to get a weapon fixed and all that shit, that it would be a real pain in the ass to continue it. In addition, it was so daunting to do all the stuff that I had done to get where I was in Dark Souls, I don't even want to replay the game, okay? So, I'm not saying I will never return to Dark Souls. I'm saying it's not in the running right now. Maybe at a later date I will re-explore it, and maybe, just maybe, I have something planned for it in the future, which is why I'm not putting it into the Retro Replay voting, okay? No, I didn't just have a seizure. But anyway, one idea that I do want to throw out there for everyone, before we get to the voting, because this is important, this is interesting. I have a collection of NES, Super NES, and Genesis games, okay? What that means is Retro Replay could include those games. If you want to see me play Super Mario Brothers, I could put that in Retro Replay. Sonic the Hedgehog, you know what I mean? These classic series. Now, I have not actually gone over there and taken a look at my retro games in a while, so I know everyone's probably like, well, Phil, I don't know what you have. Okay, that's a completely valid point. So what I'm going to do, not in this video, but in the future of this year, at some point, what we'll do after we do a couple Retro Replay games and we got them in the archives, I will go over there and we'll look at the games together, some of the old games I have, and those will become candidates for Retro Replay. So maybe I'll add in Super Mario Brothers, I'll add in Sonic, etc., etc. So I think a lot of people would like to see me play those games too. So let's see what happens, but for now, those are not in the running, but they will possibly be at a future date. In fact, I already have an idea in my head of something that I'm going to be doing in the near future with some retro games like that, okay? Okay, so now, with all that being said, I know that was a lot. Let's get to the poll, the candidates for the next Retro Replay playthrough on DSP Gaming, okay? Some of these you have seen already. Some of these you have not seen, okay? So, let me see if I can do this in a nice build-up order. Hold on. Let me actually order these a certain way. I think this would be a good, there we go, like that, and then the last one, which I don't have. So let me explain. The first candidate for the next Retro Replay is a game that was one of the very first games I ever played on YouTube. I did highlights. This was when I was doing, I would highlight certain parts of the game, maybe a boss battle or something like that, but I didn't do all full playthrough. It wasn't HD, and it certainly wasn't done professionally, because half the game I was drunk when I was playing it. The first game up as a candidate for Retro Replay, Spider-Man Web of Shadows. Now, I don't have the game physically, but I actually downloaded it on my Xbox 360. It's there, it's ready to be played. So, that's the first candidate. I know right now a lot of people are like, yes, we were always wanted to see a full playthrough of that, and now's your chance to vote for it, okay? The number 2 candidate in the poll this time will be Saints Row 2, okay? A game, again, I did highlights. I didn't do a full playthrough. Has a lot of hilarious stuff in it, like shooting shit out of a truck all over buildings. Yeah, I'm not kidding. There's some crazy shit in this game, and I really enjoyed playing it. It was the first Saints Row game I ever played, and that's a candidate for Retro Replay. The next game I also think is a strong candidate. In fact, I think this is one of the strongest and probably one of the biggest one of the games that I probably would actually want to play the most for a Retro Replay. Star Wars: The Force Unleashed Part 1. This was a game that I really, really enjoyed when I played it. I was so disappointed in the sequel because it really wasn't anywhere near as good as the original game, in my opinion. The sequel seemed like a kind of a cash-in, a cheap throw it together kind of a sequel. This game was original, it was long, it was fun, it has some cool boss fights, it has a bugged boss fight, which is the only video I ever made of it. So definitely a candidate, a game I only made one video of on YouTube, and I think that people would really enjoy seeing me play this game because I never did a full playthrough. So Star Wars: The Force Unleashed Part 1, strong candidate. The next one, another one, Mercenaries 2. This game is chaotic, this game is funny as hell. It's got crazy shit going on at all times. It's gory. It's got bugs up the ass. I did highlights of it, but I never did a full playthrough. That's a good candidate as well. So Mercenaries 2. This next one I also know is going to be a favorite. People are going to vote the hell out of it. A game that I never played on YouTube at all, okay? But it's a classic. It's a system seller. It's one that it makes sense for me to play at this point because I played the previous 2 games last year. Metal Gear Solid 4, Sons of the Patriots, right? No, I'm sorry, Guns of the Patriots. Not only do I think this would be a good playthrough, gameplay-wise, but with all the cutscenes and shit, it lends itself well to commentary. So that's a really cool candidate right there. Up next, another game I never did a full playthrough of, but it's one of the first games I played on YouTube. And it's interesting because I played its sequel this past year, and to see how the one before it was so much different from it, this could be cool. Far Cry 2. Okay, that's in the running. And now, we've now mentioned 7 games, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, we mentioned 6 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Because I thought there were... Now I'm confusing myself because I thought there were 8 games that were going to be in the poll. No, I guess not. I guess it's going to be 7 this time around. Because we've already mentioned 6. And now here's one. It's the last one that's up for voting for the first poll for Retro Replay, the next game. And this is a game that is a classic. It's a game that pretty much almost created, if not was, the first game to go so mainstream that it created an entire genre. Okay? It's a game that I played when it originally came out, and I enjoyed it a lot. I thought that it was very difficult, but at the same time, I thought that the difficulty actually added to the atmosphere of the game itself. This is a game that spurned an entire series of games that have changed since the original. And I think that doing a playthrough of this game might actually be a great idea at this time, because this is a time when there's a lot of controversy surrounding the series, and people might want to see, who never played the original, see why everyone's so upset about it, okay? This game was so popular, it actually not only was successful as a game, but then went on to be successful franchises and other things, including movies and anime and all kinds of stuff. Without beating around the bush any further, we're talking about Resident Evil 1 Director's Cut. Now, I know this isn't Resident Evil 1, but this is the anthology version of Resident Evil 6, where inside of it, I actually got a code for all of the Resident Evil games to play them. And I have the code for Resident Evil 1 Director's Cut. Now, it also has Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, and Resident Evil 4 HD. However, at this time, I don't want to play those. I think I would like to play one of the originals, and being that we're going to start from the beginning, Resident Evil 1 Director's Cut. Great game. I played it as you know, when it was new. It's a game that I would enjoy doing for Retro Replay. That is now also in the running for Retro Replay. So, just to recap, the games that you can vote on right now on thekingofhate.com for the next Retro Replay candidate. I don't have it here. Spider-Man Web of Shadows. We've got Saints Row 2. We've got Star Wars The Force Unleashed Part 1. We've got Mercenaries 2. Up next, Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots, Far Cry 2, and then last but certainly not least, Resident Evil Director's Cut. So those are the games that are currently in the running. Please go ahead, check the description of the video, click the link, head over to the forums, vote, okay? The one thing I can emphasize here is that this year I'm changing things up. I want it to be more interactive between us. I feel that I've accomplished that by answering your direct requests for things that should need to change this year, starting new series, uploading less videos, being more interactive with you on my forums, on Twitter, on Facebook. I've been interacting with fans on a daily basis, and people are loving that change. I need your input now. This is another major change. If you don't vote, then it's gonna, you know what I mean? If you don't vote, I don't know what you want me to play. And also, if you don't vote, another game that maybe you really don't want to see may end up being the next Retro Replay, and now you might be end up, damn, I really wanted to see Resident Evil, I really wanted to see Metal Gear, I wanted to see Star Wars, and I didn't vote, so now my game's not in the running, or it's in the running but it's not the #1 pick, and therefore it's not going to get played right away, okay? That's the other thing I want everyone to understand. Just because a game doesn't get voted in this first time doesn't mean it won't be a candidate in the next poll. The next time that I have another poll for this, which could probably be a few weeks to a month, depending on when I beat the next Retro Replay game, the next game, I might add in some that I excluded. I might have new ones, new candidates. I know, I'm fully aware that a lot of people have been saying, Phil, what about Uncharted 1? You never played that on YouTube. Phil, what about this? What about that? There are very good, valid options, but I'm going off of what games I have ordered and I have right now. I will be adding games to this selection so that when these polls come up later on, they will be options that you can vote for, okay? So please head over to thekingofhate.com, go check it out, vote on the poll. I'm really excited because Retro Replay so far has been a very successful series, and I want to continue to be a very successful series, but obviously I need your help to do that. So, thanks a lot. That's it for the channel update. I'm not going to flood you with 100 other pieces of information. The last thing that I do want to mention, because I want to mention it in every update video, Screw Attack Gaming Convention in June, I believe it's June 21st to 23rd. Myself, John Rambo, Panda Lee, possibly OJ, and maybe some other people will be attending it, so definitely go check that out. I think it's sgconvention.com for details, but outside of that, vote for what game you want to see on Retro Replay. I'm excited to see what you guys vote in, okay? Thanks a lot for watching the update. I'll see you for more gameplay coming up right away on DSP Gaming Daily, and also, I'll be back here on the King of Hate Vlogs tomorrow for the weekend preview, so be sure to be here for that too. Thanks a lot. Peace out.